The massive viewing screen aboard the Galactic Alliance flagship, Stellar Dawn, displayed a sight that made High Commander Zena Valthor's heart sink. Another Alliance world had fallen to the Drachnid Empire's relentless advance. The crystalline spires of Lumaria, once gleaming beacons of hope in the galaxy, now lay in ruins, their remnants scattered across the planet's surface like broken dreams. Zena's scaled fingers gripped the command chair's armrests, her typically stoic demeanor cracking under the weight of consecutive defeats. The Alliance, a federation of 17 advanced species that had maintained peace for over 3 millennia, was now facing extinction at the hands of the Drachnids, a species that had emerged from the unknown regions of space with technology that seemed to defy the laws of physics themselves. High Commander, Lieutenant Raxa's voice carried the same exhaustion that plagued the entire crew. The Council is requesting an emergency session. Zena nodded, her silver eyes reflecting the tactical displays showing yet another retreat. Put them through, Lieutenant. The holographic projectors hummed to life, and 12 figures materialized around her, the remaining Council members. Some faces were missing, their worlds already conquered or destroyed by the Drachnid onslaught. High Commander, First Speaker Thax began, his ethereal form flickering slightly. We have lost contact with the Lumerian fleet. Our estimates suggest we have less than 3 standard months before the Drachnids reach the core worlds. The silence that followed was deafening. 3 months. After 5 years of desperate resistance, the most advanced civilization in known space had been reduced to counting days until their extinction. There might be one option left. Council member Nira spoke, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with nervous energy. We've been monitoring a species in the spiral arm of Sector 47. They call themselves humans. Murmurs of dismissal rippled through the Council. Sector 47 was considered primitive space, hosting species that had barely achieved faster-than-light travel. With respect, Council member, another voice interjected. What could a nascent species offer against an enemy that has defeated our most advanced weapons? Naira's response was to project data streams into the center of the chamber. Humans are different. While technologically behind us in many areas, they've shown remarkable advancement in others. Their warfare evolution is particularly interesting. The data showed Earth's military history, a cascade of conflicts and innovations that made several Council members recoil. While the Alliance had evolved through peaceful cooperation, humans had forged their path through countless wars, emerging stronger each time. They're barbarians, one Council member scoffed. They're survivors, Naira corrected. And they possess something we've lost over millennia of peace, the ability to adapt and overcome against overwhelming odds. Zena studied the data with growing interest. While human technology was indeed primitive compared to Alliance standards, their tactical innovations were fascinating. They had developed countermeasures for nearly every type of warfare they'd encountered, often using inferior technology to defeat superior forces. There's more, Naira continued. Their neural architecture is unique. They process information and react to threats differently than any species we've encountered. The Drachnids' predictive combat algorithms might be ineffective against them. The discussion raged for hours, but in the end, desperation won over skepticism. The vote was unanimous. They would contact Earth. The task of making first contact fell to Admiral Kira Nakamura of the United Earth Defense Force. She stood at the window of her office in the Lunar Command Center, watching Earth rotate slowly below when the Alliance ships appeared. They materialized just beyond the lunar orbit, 3 vessels of impossible grace and beauty, their hulls seeming to bend light itself. Admiral, Her AI assistant's voice was calm as ever. "We're receiving a transmission in over 300 languages, including all known human dialects." Kira straightened her uniform, dark eyes fixed on the alien ships. At 45, she'd spent her entire career preparing Earth's defenses against potential hostile contact. Now, facing actual first contact, she felt strangely calm. "Put it through," she ordered. The message was simple but desperate. "We come seeking help. The galaxy is falling, and humanity might be its last hope." Within hours, the Lunar Command Center hosted the most significant meeting in human history. Zena Valthor stood before Earth's combined military command, her holographic presentation showing the full horror of the Drachnid War. The images of destroyed worlds and shattered civilizations brought a heavy silence to the room. "You're saying that after we help you," General Santos of the South American Coalition spoke, "you'll share your technology with us." "If we survive," Zena replied honestly, "everything we know will be yours. But understand, we're not offering you advancement. We're offering you a war that we're losing." Kira studied the alien commander thoughtfully. "Why us? You've shown us your technology. We're centuries behind you in many areas." Zena's silver eyes met Kira's. "Because you're unpredictable. The Drachnids have decimated us by calculating and countering every strategy we employ. But humans," she paused, displaying tactical analyses of Earth's military history, "you defy prediction. You win when you should lose. You survive when you should die. You adapt in ways that our simulations can't model." The room erupted in discussion, but Kira remained silent, watching the footage of Drachnid ships destroying entire worlds. She thought of humanity's history, of armies crossing impossible mountains, of outnumbered forces achieving victory through innovation, of countless moments where human determination had defied the odds. "How long?" she finally asked. "The Drachnids will reach the Alliance core worlds in 3 months," Zena replied. "If they win there, Earth will be next." Kira stood, her decision made. "Then we have 3 months to prove why humanity never learned to accept defeat." As she left the meeting, orders were already being transmitted worldwide. Humanity was going to war, but this time, the battlefield was the stars themselves. The massive hangar of Luna Base 1 hummed with activity as engineers swarmed over Alliance vessels, their tools sparking against the otherworldly metals. Admiral Kira Nakamura walked alongside Commander Raven Blackwood, Earth's leading military technologist, as they inspected the integration of human weapon systems into alien ships. "It's beautiful in its simplicity," Raven explained, her dark hands gesturing at the modified Alliance cruiser. "Their energy shields are incredibly advanced, but they never considered using kinetic weapons. They thought ballistic technology was primitive." Kira watched as workers installed railgun arrays alongside the Alliance's energy weapons. "And you're certain these modifications will work?" "The Drachnids expect energy weapons, which their shields are optimized against. But a tungsten rod traveling at relativistic speeds? That'll punch right through." Raven's eyes gleamed with the excitement of innovation. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways. Above them, in the zero-gravity assembly area, Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka led a team training on modified spacewalks. The Alliance's combat suits were elegant and sophisticated, but human special forces had decades of experience fighting in zeroed conditions. They'd stripped down the alien suits, sacrificing comfort for mobility and adding manual backup systems. "The Alliance relies too heavily on automation," Yuki reported over the comm. "1 EMP, and their troops are helpless. We're teaching them to fight blind, to trust their instincts." The training sessions that followed demonstrated the stark differences between human and Alliance military doctrine. While the Alliance commanders sought perfect formation and coordinated strikes, human officers introduced chaos theory and asymmetric warfare tactics. High Commander Zena watched in fascination as human fighters deliberately broke formation during simulations, using random patterns that confused the Drachnid targeting systems. "It's madness," she commented to Kira, "but effective madness." "Humans have a saying," Kira replied, watching the exercises. "The only fair fight is the one you lose. We're not interested in fighting fair." The breakthrough came 3 weeks into the preparation. Dr. Hajime Seto, a quantum physicist from Tokyo University, made a discovery while studying Drachnid combat logs. He burst into the command center, his usually calm demeanor shattered by excitement. "They're too perfect," he exclaimed, pulling up battle data. The Drachnids, their entire combat system is based on quantum probability calculations. They predict every possible action and counter it. But human minds. He paused, gathering his thoughts. "We're quantum systems too, but we're messy, emotional, random." Raven caught on immediately. "Their predictions fail because they can't account for human irrationality. We don't always make the optimal choice." "Sometimes," Kira added, "we make choices that seem wrong but work because they're unexpected." The discovery shaped their strategy. Instead of trying to match the Drachnids' technological superiority, they would exploit the one advantage humans had: unpredictability. Special Forces teams began training in what they called chaos protocols, deliberately incorporating random elements into their tactics. The Alliance engineers were skeptical at first, but the results were undeniable. In simulated battles, human-led forces achieved a 40% higher success rate against Drachnid-style attacks. The key was the combination of Alliance technology with human improvisation. Admiral James Chen, leading the Pacific Fleet's integration with Alliance forces, demonstrated this during a live-fire exercise. His ships executed a maneuver that the Alliance had deemed suicidal, diving through an asteroid field at full speed while running silent. The Drachnid simulators predicted 100% casualties. The human crews achieved it with 0 losses. "Impossible," an Alliance tactical officer whispered. "Impossible is what humans do best," James replied with a grim smile. As the training progressed, something unexpected happened. The Alliance crews began to change, learning to think more flexibly, to trust instinct alongside technology. Human officers found themselves adapting Alliance technologies in ways their creators had never imagined. In the final days before deployment, Kira stood in the observation dome, watching the combined fleet perform maneuvers. Alliance ships moved with fluid grace alongside human vessels, their formations a perfect blend of precision and controlled chaos. Zena joined her, silver eyes reflecting the stars. "When we came to Earth, we thought we were seeking salvation," she admitted. "Instead, we found teachers. Your people have shown us that perfection isn't always the answer." Kira nodded, thinking of the battles ahead. "The Drachnids believe they've perfected warfare, made it a science. We're going to remind them that war is chaos, and chaos is our specialty." The alert klaxons chose that moment to sound. On the tactical displays, multiple hyperspace signatures appeared at the edge of the solar system. The Drachnids had found Earth sooner than expected. Kira's voice was steel as she activated the fleet-wide comm. "All ships, battle stations. This is not a drill. Show them why humanity never learned to accept defeat." As the combined fleet moved to defensive positions, there was no fear in the human crews. They had spent weeks preparing for this moment, and now they would show the galaxy why you should never corner a species that had turned survival into an art form. The first battle for Earth was about to begin, and humanity was ready to prove that sometimes the best weapon isn't the most advanced, it's the most unpredictable. The void between Mars and Earth erupted in a display of devastating beauty as the first wave of Drachnid ships emerged from hyperspace. Their vessels, black as the space around them, moved with mechanical precision, each ship taking its predetermined place in a perfect attack formation. All ships maintain radio silence. Admiral Kira ordered through quantum-encrypted channels. Execute Operation Thunderstrike on my mark. The Human Alliance fleet appeared to be in disarray, ships scattered in seemingly random patterns across the solar system. To the Drachnid's quantum computers, it looked like chaos, like fear. Their algorithms predicted an easy victory. That was exactly what Kira wanted them to think. Lieutenant Commander Raj Patel, leading Ghost Squadron, watched his tactical display from the cockpit of his stealth fighter. His squadron, hidden among the debris of a destroyed satellite network, waited silently. The modifications they'd made to Alliance stealth technology, combined with primitive radar-absorbing materials, had created something new, ships that were truly invisible. Ghost Squadron, Raj whispered into his comm, "Remember your training. We're not here to fight fair. We're here to win." The Drachnid fleet pressed forward, their formation perfect, their calculations absolute. Their first volley of energy weapons lit up space, seeking targets that weren't there. The scattered Alliance ships began to retreat, apparently in panic. Kira's voice cut through the silence. "Mark, what happened next would be studied in military academies for centuries to come. The debris field around the Drachnid fleet came alive. Ghost Squadron, led by Raj, emerged from their hiding places not to attack, but to deploy clouds of seemingly primitive metal chaff, millions of tiny reflective particles that wreaked havoc with Drachnid sensors. Predictive systems failing, the Drachnid command reported, unable to establish target locks. The retreating Alliance ships suddenly reversed course, but not as a coordinated fleet. Each ship moved independently, following random vectors calculated by human pilots. The Drachnid computers, trying to predict their movements, crashed under the weight of too many variables. Commander Raven Blackwood's voice crackled over the command channel. "Railguns hot. Time to show them why we never abandoned kinetic weapons." The modified Alliance cruisers opened fire. Tungsten rods, accelerated to near-relativistic speeds, tore through Drachnid shields, designed to stop energy weapons. The enemy fleet's perfect formation shattered as ships tried to evade weapons their computers insisted couldn't exist. "Now, Valkyrie Wing," Kira commanded. From behind Mars, a squadron of hybrid fighters emerged. Led by Captain Akiko Yamamoto, these ships combined Alliance energy weapons with human missile technology. The Drachnids, their formation broken, found themselves caught in a three-dimensional trap of human design. "Launch nuclear pulse warheads," Akiko ordered. "Let's give them something else their computers can't predict." The space around the Drachnid fleet lit up with carefully controlled nuclear detonations. The electromagnetic pulses knocked out their sophisticated targeting systems, leaving them blind. The Alliance crews, trained by humans to fight without computer assistance, pressed their advantage. In the command center of the Stellar Dawn, High Commander Zena watched in awe as the human strategy unfolded. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "They turned space itself into a weapon." The battle raged for hours, but the outcome was never in doubt. Human unpredictability, combined with Alliance technology, proved devastating. The Drachnid fleet, for the first time in their campaign of conquest, found themselves facing an enemy they couldn't predict or counter. As the last Drachnid ships retreated in disarray, Kira allowed herself a small smile. Status report. Enemy fleet in full retreat, Raj reported. Ghost Squadron suffered no casualties. The chaff deployment worked perfectly. Valkyrie Wing reporting minimal damage, Akiko added. The hybrid weapons exceeded expectations. But the victory had come with a sobering revelation. In the aftermath of the battle, Dr. Hajime Sato studied the captured Drachnid data cores. What he found confirmed their worst fears. This wasn't their main fleet, he reported to the command staff. This was a reconnaissance force. They were testing our defenses. Kira nodded grimly. Then we gave them exactly what we wanted them to see. That Earth won't be an easy target. How long until their main fleet arrives? Based on their hyperspace signatures, Hajime calculated no more than 48 hours. Good, Kira replied, surprising everyone. That's enough time to prepare our real surprise. Commander Blackwood, is Project Pandora ready? Raven's smile was fierce. Ready and waiting, Admiral. The Drachnids think they've seen human ingenuity. They haven't seen anything yet. As the combined fleet regrouped, repair crews working alongside Alliance engineers to prepare for the bigger battle ahead, there was a new feeling in the air. The Drachnids weren't invincible. Their perfect calculations could be disrupted. Their superior technology could be countered. Humanity had shown the galaxy why they had survived countless extinction-level events on their home world. Now they would show the Drachnids why challenging the human spirit was the biggest miscalculation of all. The real battle was about to begin, and Earth's defenders had no intention of fighting fair. The massive Drachnid main fleet emerged from hyperspace like a dark tide, thousands of ships strong. But this time, Earth was ready. Project Pandora wasn't a weapon. It was a strategy born from humanity's most powerful asset, creativity. Commander Raven Blackwood had realized something profound. The Drachnid's quantum predictive systems required data to function. So they gave them data, carefully crafted false information planted through seemingly secure channels. For weeks, Alliance ships had been performing specific maneuvers, establishing patterns the Drachnids would expect. Admiral Kira stood on her bridge as the enemy approached. Execute Pandora Protocol. The combined fleet split into 3 groups, each moving exactly as the Drachnids predicted. Their quantum computers calculated victory with 99.9% certainty. Then Kira gave the second order: activate the quantum scramblers. Dr. Hajime's greatest creation came to life: devices that generated controlled quantum uncertainty fields. The Drachnid computers, trying to predict quantum probabilities, encountered mathematical impossibilities. Their entire command and control network crashed. In the chaos that followed, human ingenuity shone. Special forces teams, led by Raj Patel, used the confusion to board key Drachnid vessels. They moved through the ships like ghosts, using tactics that no algorithm could predict. The final battle lasted exactly 5 hours. Without their predictive systems, the Drachnids faced something they'd never encountered: humans fighting with both advanced technology and primitive cunning. The turning point came when Raj's team captured a Drachnid command ship. Inside, they found what the Alliance had sought for years: the central core of the Drachnid battle network. Captain Akiko Yamamoto, leading a mixed Human Alliance engineering team, did something characteristically human. They didn't destroy it. They reprogrammed it. The Drachnid fleet received new orders directly from their own command network: stand down or be destroyed. In the confusion that followed, the combined fleet struck. Railguns fired their relativistic projectiles. Nuclear pulse weapons detonated in carefully choreographed patterns. Alliance energy weapons, guided by human gunners who trusted their instincts over computers, found their marks. When it was over, the mighty Drachnid Empire had been defeated not by superior technology, but by human unpredictability and determination. The aftermath brought changes no one had expected. The Alliance, learning from humanity, began incorporating randomness and flexibility into their strategies. Humans, given access to Alliance technology, focused on combining it with their unique approaches rather than simply adopting it. Admiral Kira Nakamura stood once again in the lunar observation dome, watching Earth rotate below. Beside her, High Commander Zena spoke quietly. "Your people saved not just themselves, but the entire galaxy. What will humanity do next?" Kira smiled, thinking of the quantum ships already under construction, designed by human engineers who asked, "Why not?" instead of following established rules. "What we've always done," she replied. "Explore, innovate, surprise everyone, including ourselves." The war that was supposed to last years had been won in 5 hours, not through overwhelming force or superior technology, but through humanity's greatest strengths: adaptability, creativity, and the absolute refusal to accept defeat. A new age had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same.